Hey guys, welcome back. And free agency is pretty much wrapped up. It looks as if a lot of the big names have already decided on where they are going to be headed next. So today we're going to be doing a 3-round mock draft as a part of Mock Draft Monday. This is going up a little bit later than I would like it to, but it's been a very hectic weekend. My brother flew in, so I've had a lot to do, but wanted to get this video out for you guys. It's a 3-rounder today. We're only going to do one trade, and I'm sure you guys know what it is. And we're not going to spend a ton of time explaining each pick because we don't want this to be a 3-hour long video. But before we get into it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new. Let's go ahead and get into it with the Chicago Bears at number 1. And look, the Bears just traded Justin Fields. We kind of knew this was coming. They're trading it for one reason, and they know they're getting Caleb Williams, a borderline generational quarterback prospect, a guy who makes some of the best off-platform throws, does a really good job of extending plays. I think he is the no-brainer number 1 pick in this situation. He is one of the better quarterback prospects that I have gotten to watch. I think this is a huge get for the Chicago organization. At number 2, we got the Washington Commanders, and as time goes on, it looks like Jaden Daniels is starting to separate himself from Drake May to Washington. They picked up Marcus Mariota as a backup a little bit more in that mobile round. Jaden Daniels is not a better quarterback prospect to me than Drake May, but I think for Cliff Kingsbury's offense, for what this Washington team wants to do on the ground, I think that Jaden Daniels is going to be the pick here at number 2. He's a great quarterback prospect. He's got a really solid arm. If he can learn to protect himself, I think he could be a very nice quarterback. Here at number 3, we've got the New England Patriots, and we are going to be trading this pick. This pick is going to be going to the Minnesota Vikings, and New England is going to receive both 11 and 23, which Minnesota got from a trade with Houston. Minnesota will also probably give up a second next year in this deal. Doesn't really matter the details on it, but Minnesota is going to be trading up to select Drake May. Drake May is my personal quarterback 2. I know he's been a lot of people's quarterback 1, and I'm not sure why they're giving me trade offers. I've never had that happen before. But I really, really like Drake May. This is the perfect offense for him. Weapons all over the field in TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. He's got weapons. This is the perfect quarterback for them. I know they brought in Sam Darnold, and I actually like Darnold in this team. I think he can really prove a lot of people wrong. But they got that extra first-round pick knowing that they were going to be trading up to get a quarterback. They wanted Anthony Richardson last year. I think they get Drake May this year. At number 4, it's a no-brainer. It is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Arizona Cardinals. I absolutely love this. They need a wide receiver 1. They really haven't made any moves in the wide receiver department. They've been one of the more underwhelming teams of free agency with all the cap space that they do have. Haven't really done anything, but I think they know they've got a plethora of draft picks. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be the move here. The Chargers at 5 are a very interesting one. I know some people have gotten them going tackle, which I think makes a lot of sense. I'm on that tackle train. I think they need to do a better job of improving the O-line, and we know that's what Jim Harbaugh wants to do. But they need receivers. Joshua Palmer, when he's on the field, I think is one of the most underrated players in the league. I haven't gave up my Quentin Johnston stock yet. I know he had some issues last year. I still think he could be a good receiver. I think they need size on the outside, and that's what separates Rome Odunze from Malik Neighbors to me. I know Malik Neighbors has some elite speed, some elite acceleration, and can make some big-time plays. However, Malik Neighbors is flawed as a prospect to me a little bit in terms of his size. I think Rome Odunze's got better size. They need an outside weapon in LA. I think that's what they're going to be getting. All right, so Odunze went number 5 to the Chargers, but it's not going to be much longer before Malik Neighbors comes off the board. He is going to go number 6 to the New York Giants. I love what the Giants have done this offseason. I know not bringing back Saquon and Xavier McKinney really concerned some people, but they were awesome. They got Brian Burns. They still have a second rounder. They need more weapons, though. If they want to continue to build around Daniel Jones, which it looks like they do, at least for the time being, I think that's the move. Now, I think Drew Lock has a chance to compete for the quarterback spot. J.J. McCarthy just isn't the quarterback that this team needs. If they want to go quarterback, go with a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix later on down the board, which maybe that will happen. but I think Malik Neighbors is going to be the move here at number 6. At number 7, receiver was in play here before the Calvin Ridley signing. Now I think it just has to be offensive line. I know they brought in Lloyd Cushenberry, which was a move that I really liked, but I think they need to improve their tackles and go get Joe Alt, who I think is the best tackle prospect in this class. At number 8, we got the Atlanta Falcons. Now, a lot of people have been going Dallas Turner here, and I get it. Dallas Turner is an awesome edge rusher. They need to be able to generate pressure. I think they can hold off on the edge rush position just a little bit. And I'm going to go get a corner, and I'm going to take Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo. Pairing him with A.J. Terrell, pairing him with Jesse Bates in that secondary would be lethal. Mitchell is right up there with me as my cornerback 1. He's got unbelievable reaction times. He's got some of the best ball skills of any corner in this entire draft class. I think this would be an awesome pickup if you are the Atlanta Falcons. At number 9, we got the Chicago Bears. Receiver, again, would have been in play here. Edge is in play as well. Dallas Turner is on the board. Maybe you go O-line. I've considered the idea of Jackson Powers-Johnson here. I've considered the idea of Troy Fautanu here. But we are going to go with an edge rusher, and it's going to be Jared Verse simply because of the scheme. Eberflus loves to run a 4-3 defense. He's the perfect 4-3 defensive end in this class. He's got great size. He's super strong. He's got a quick get off the line of scrimmage. I love everything about Jared Verse as a prospect. Dallas Turner is great, but I think Verse to Chicago would be a match made in heaven. At number 10, we got the New York Jets, and I am going to be selecting a tackle. I know they went out, they got Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses, and the Jets have done an awesome job improving their offensive line, but I think we're going to continue to add to it. We aren't going to take Olu Fashanu. We're not going to take Talise Fuaga. We're going to take Troy Fautanu. I think he is the perfect fit for the New York Jets because if you want him to play tackle, he can play tackle, but he also has that ability to go inside and play left guard. I know they brought in John Simpson, had 11 penalties last year, was not really the best offensive lineman. I know they paid him good money, but I think Fautanu could come in and start at guard for them right away. And I would really like that if I am the Jets. So I think he gives them some versatility similar to what AVT does. I think Fautanu to the Jets is a really solid move. At number 11, we get the New England Patriots, who traded back with the Vikings, and they're still going to come away with one of the top quarterback prospects in J.J. McCarthy. In today's mock, McCarthy is still a bit of a project, I think. I think he needs to sit for a year or two. But in this situation, he goes to New England, a team that is in desperate need of a quarterback. And we saw what happened the last time the Patriots drafted a Michigan quarterback. Maybe they're thinking the same thing here. They got to go get weapons. They got to improve protection. But I think this is a very good start for the Patriots. J.J. McCarthy, he's mobile. He's got a great arm. He's got great ball placement. Can he put it all together is the question mark. And we'll see what he can do there in New England. At number 12, Denver's on the board, and I don't think they expected Dallas Turner to make it this far. Really, any position is a position of need for the Broncos, but they desperately need to improve their defensive line. They are not able to rush the passer. I know they got Nick Bonito last year. They want to move Drew Sanders to edge. Just go get a true edge who's got elite upside. That's what we're going to do with Dallas Turner. At number 13, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they need to improve the secondary. I love that they improved the defensive line. But we're going to take Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. Great speed. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. This team has just been lacking a true number one corner for a really long time. And I think Terrion Arnold can be that guy. They have swung and they have missed on a lot of first-round corners. But I think Terrion Arnold could finally end that for the Las Vegas Raiders. At number 14, we got the New Orleans Saints. They improved the edge just a little bit ago by signing Chase Young. Receivers in play. I know we did Brian Thomas Jr. to the Saints in my last mock, which I do quite like. But we are going to go with an offensive lineman. They did restructure Ryan Ramczyk. I'm going to get Olu Fashanu. Trevor Penning has been up and down. I believe he got benched last season, which was a bit unfortunate for people that were really high on Trevor Penning. But Olu Fashanu, very athletic, very good as both a run and pass blocker, to be completely honest. I think he's got some of the highest upside of any of the tackles in this class. Reminds me a little bit of Andrew Thomas, to where it might take a couple years, but he could really, really shine. And I think the Saints do need to improve on that offensive line quite a bit. So I'm going to take Olu Fashanu. My Indianapolis Colts here at 15. We've taken out Adonai Mitchell, but the pick that we're going to continue to make is Brock Bowers. If Brock Bowers is on the board at 15, it just makes sense. I've seen a lot of people have the Colts trading up for Brock Bowers. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't feel realistic. I think Bowers has a very real chance of being on the board at 15 simply because tight end just isn't valued. And I think, a lot of these teams, they need receivers. They need offensive line. I think Brock Bowers has got a real chance to be on the board at 15. And that's what I'm going to do. Get Anthony Richardson a big target in the middle of that, in the middle of the field. At number 16, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Bunch of different routes we could go here, but I am going to take a interior offensive lineman. Lost Damian Lewis. You've got to get a center anyways. Just go get Jackson Powers-Johnson. I think this is one of my favorite team to prospect fits in the entire draft. He could play guard. He could play center. He is unbelievably powerful. He's super quick to the next level. He is at an incredible pre-draft process. I think Seattle, who desperately needs to improve on that interior, goes out and they get Jackson Powers-Johnson. And Seattle's had a pretty underwhelming offseason as well, but I think Jackson Powers-Johnson could be a really good pick for them. At number 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They lost Calvin Ridley and they brought in Gabe Davis, two of the most questionable moves of the offseason, to be honest. The Gabe Davis one especially. I still think they want a receiver, and that's what we're going to take here. We are going to select Brian Thomas Jr. This is a guy who I think has some elite upside. I saw Chris Sims had him as wide receiver too, which I take everything that guy says with a grain of salt, but very interesting there. I think the league is really high on Brian Thomas Jr. He's got really, really good speed, good ball tracking ability. He's bigger than Neighbors. I believe he's around the same size as Harrison as well. He's got great size. I think he's a perfect Calvin Ridley replacement. Calvin Ridley was my comparison for Brian Thomas Jr. I think this is a great move if you are the Jacksonville Jaguars. At number 18, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Haven't made a move at right tackle at the time of recording this. Whether they get Trent Brown or not, still up in the air. Talise Fuaga is going to be the move. By far, the best right tackle in this draft class, I think. He is an unbelievable run blocker, great quickness. He could even play guard with that quickness. I think he is that athletic. He's an athletic freak. I think he goes top 20. I think he goes higher than this on draft night. Just the way the board fell, I think Fuaga to Cincinnati makes a ton of sense. At number 19, Aaron Donald is retired. The Los Angeles Rams are going to need to improve on that interior. I liked Kobe Turner quite a bit as a rookie, but I think they can continue to add to that. Go get a guy who's got really good pass rush upside, and that is Byron Murphy out of Texas. While I am still a Jerzon Newton guy, I think the league is just much higher on Byron Murphy. He's got really good hands. If he can stay active, keep his feet moving, I think he could be a really, really good player down the line for the LA Rams. At number 20, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Got to improve that offensive line. Still, Amarius Mims is going to be the pick. Played some left tackle in practice from what all reports were saying. So you got to love that. He's got the size. He's unbelievably athletic. A really limited college experience, I know, but I think this guy athletically has a chance to be one of the best stars in this entire draft class. He is my number 3 tackle. I've got him ahead of Fuaga. I've got him ahead of Latham. I've got him ahead of some of these guys because I think his upside and the tape he has shown, he has been absolutely phenomenal. I think Pittsburgh is getting a real star, pairing him alongside Broderick Jones. You can move to the left side, play Mims on the right side, or vice versa. I love the versatility it gives you. I love Amarius Mims, and I love that fit for Pittsburgh. At number 20, we're going to continue the offensive line trend here. J.C. Latham is going to be the pick. Latham is a player that I go back and forth on because he's a really, really good run blocker, and for his size, he should not be able to move the way that he does. But he takes plays off. I don't think his motor is very good, and his pass pro is questionable. For the Dolphins, though, I think this is a great fit. Can play alongside Armstead, can take over for Armstead down the road. I think he would be a really good addition to this Miami O-line that desperately needs to make some moves. Philly at 22, I hate this pick. I hate everything about making picks for the Eagles because Eagles fans are never happy no matter what I do. Unless I take an offensive lineman, which might be what I do today. I might change it up as I'm recording this because originally I had Tyler Guyton. That is a move that I have questions about. Guyton, upside is there at tackle. They've got Landon Dickerson, who I like at that guard spot. They're trying to replace Kelsey. Lane Johnson, left tackle, is they're a very tough team to draft for because I think they need some spots. And then on the defense, Corner, for whatever reason, they don't want a corner, even though their secondary was absolute garbage last year. They want a linebacker, but they don't want Laiatu Latu, who's one of the most perfect outside linebackers, probably the best outside linebacker in the entire draft class, especially for a 3-4 that Vic Fangio likes to run. Latu's been my pick for a while. I'm going to go Tyler Guyton. They love to take a position of need before it's a need. We're just going to take Guyton and move on. I'm not thinking about it. I know people are going to complain about this. They're going to go offensive line or do something. We'll address that defense later on. At number 23, excellent for the New England Patriots to come away with J.J. McCarthy and then go get him a number one receiver in Adonai Mitchell. This is a guy who I like better than Brian Thomas Jr. His speed is fantastic, was one of the best runners at the combine. I think he's got really good size. I think his upside is really, really high. Was good at Georgia, was good at Texas, but there were plays where it seemed like he knew he wasn't getting the ball and he didn't run his full route. I think the upside is really, really there with Adonai Mitchell. And I think in New England, a team that needs size, they need something in that receiver room. Adonai Mitchell is a perfect addition. At number 24, this is another team that's hard to draft for. Receiver is a need for this team. Running back's a need. Corner's a need. Receivers a need. Linebackers a need. They need everything. We're going to take the first linebacker off the board here, though, and take Peyton Wilson. Leighton Vander Esch retired. I don't think there's a better middle linebacker in this class than Peyton Wilson. If he can stay healthy, he is going to be a superstar in this league. He is super fast, a very hard tackler. He is active on the quarterback, keeps his eyes up. Peyton Wilson is an incredible linebacker prospect, and I'm going to take him here at number 24. At number 25, you guessed it. If you've watched the mocks, it's Cooper DeJean to the Green Bay Packers. They need corner. I still think safety is a need for this team. Even after the McKinney signing, I think you could go add another safety, which we're probably going to do later on. But Cooper DeJean can play corner, can play safety. You can really move him around. He's a chess piece for that defense. Not going to overthink it. He's going to be the pick here at 25. At 26, very interesting if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Laiatu Latu is on the board here. Shaq Barrett's gone. I think I like some of the outside linebackers later on in this class, though. I think the cornerbacks are the big one. And I'm going to take Kool-Aid McKinstry here. I still have Kool-Aid McKinstry as a top 3 corner in this class. Excellent in press man, quick reaction time, very fluid, great athlete. There's a lot to love about Kool-Aid McKinstry. Has not been getting the pre-draft love that I think he deserves. But I absolutely love this for Tampa. They need to improve that secondary. Traded Carlton Davis to Detroit. Some questions there. I'm going to take Kool-Aid McKinstry. At number 27, the Arizona Cardinals were expecting to get Kool-Aid McKinstry. Now everything's in whack. Laiatu Latu's on the board. We're going to take him here at 27. Excellent. He is my edge number 1 in this class. Could play outside linebacker in a 3-4. Could play edge in a 4-3. He's got incredible length. He's got some of the best pass rush moves of any corner in this, or any edge rusher in this entire draft class. I am a massive fan of what Laiatu Latu can do. And if he is healthy, I think he's going to be a superstar in the NFL. At number 28, we got the Buffalo Bills. Everyone wants to go receiver. Questions about Stephon Diggs' future with this team. You've also got questions about, Gabe Davis is gone. Khalil Shakir. What are you going to do here? Keon Coleman's on the board. I like that, but I also think corner is a desperate need. And I'm going to take Nate Wiggins here over a receiver. We're going to wait. It is such a loaded receiver class that I think I can push receiver off just a little bit. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take Nate Wiggins. The size is a concern. 6'1" or 6 foot, 173 pounds. He's got to bulk back up before the season, but this guy is a super fast corner. He's a great press man corner. I think he would be excellent for Buffalo, whose secondary is just all over the place right now. At number 29, we got the Detroit Lions. This is a tough pick for me. I'm looking at my notes here. I think guard is where I want to go here. We're going to take Graham Barton out of Duke. He's played left tackle. He's played left guard. Heck, he could even play some center if they really needed him to. I know a lot of people have gone Zach Frazier here, and Zach Frazier is great. I think Zach Frazier should go to a spot where they need a center desperately, which there is a spot coming up that I love. Graham Barton's versatility makes him a little bit better for the Lions to me because I think they can move him in, plug and play him right at that right guard spot. And he's an immediate starter for this team. So I like Barton there at number 29. At number 30, we are going to go with Jerzon Johnny Newton out of Illinois. And this is an interesting one. Pair him on the inside with Justin Madubuike, who got the franchise tag, got a big long-term contract. Newton is my number one interior defensive lineman. I love everything about him as a player. Yes, he's a little undersized, but he is one of the most athletic players in this class. He's fast. He's strong. He's a great run defender. I love everything that he does, and he is going to be my pick here at number 30. At number 31, we are going to take Zach Frazier here. Center is a need for the San Francisco 49ers. I think they need to improve on the offensive line. I would consider Jordan Morgan as well, but I think Zach Frazier has almost worked himself into first-round consideration. I think he is excellent. I know he's nursing a knee injury, but this guy is a former wrestler who has been absolutely incredible for West Virginia, coming off a really good season. I like him a lot to San Francisco. At number 32, it's gonna be Xavier Worthy. The Chiefs love fast receivers. We're not gonna overthink this. Go get a guy that's got Tyreek Hill type upside. I'm gonna take Xavier Worthy to Kansas City. Entering the second round here, the Carolina Panthers need a receiver. While I love the addition of Deontay Johnson, that's a guy who creates separation. Now I get a guy who could just throw the ball up to. Keon Coleman is a huge addition for the Carolina Panthers. I know some people are concerned about the 40 time. He plays much faster than that. He's had the fastest gauntlet time of any of the receivers. He's got good hands, great contested catch guy. If they get Mike Williams, maybe this is Ladd McConkey as your slot guy, but I love Keon Coleman, and I'm going to take him at 33. At number 34, the New England Patriots continue to win this draft. I love Darius Robinson to this team. You can play him as an edge rusher in this 3-4. You still got Uche, you got Judon. Now you get a guy who could pair on the inside with Christian Barmore. This defense all of a sudden starts to come together and looks like one of the most formidable pass rushes in football, which is what New England wants to do. They want to play hard-nosed defense, so I am a huge fan of Darius Robinson in New England. At number 35, we got the Arizona Cardinals yet again. Now they're going to address the interior of their defensive line and get Braden Fisk. Pairing him with Latu, you've got a lethal pass rush duo there. B.J. Ojulari, Latu, Braden Fisk. They just need to improve that defensive line. It was an absolute liability. Really, the entire defense was. I like the addition of Sean Murphy-Bunting, but they've got to improve on that front seven, the linebackers, and I think Braden Fisk allows them to do that. So that's going to be the pick here for me at 35. At number 36, Chop Robinson falls to the second round, but I think this is excellent value for the Washington Commanders, who I think have had an incredible offseason, by the way. Improved the linebacking core by getting Luvu and getting Bobby Wagner, but they need some edge rushers. I still do think that is a position that this team really needs to look and address, and we are going to get Chop Robinson. You pair alongside some studs already there. They picked up Doris Armstrong, which is a good move. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. That defense starting to come together. I really love what Washington has done this offseason. And you get Jaden Daniels, you get Chop Robinson, you got more picks. You got another pick coming up in just a minute as well. Excellent offseason so far for them. The Chargers are at 37, and I don't think they were expecting Jordan Morgan to be on the board here. I think this is a really, really good addition for them. A guy who can play tackle for you right away, could also play guard for you in the NFL. I think this is a really good situation for them. Morgan on the board at 37. We know the Chargers want to improve the defense. They want to improve the offense. I think Morgan's really good value for them here at 37. I'm not passing him up. At 38, again, receiver is a position I would heavily consider for the Titans, but I think corner is a bigger need. You got some questions about, you got a Awuzie here, but I still think corner is a need for them. I'm going to take Ennis Rakestraw out of Mizzou, a guy who doesn't have the greatest production if you're looking at ESPN, which never look at ESPN for a corner stats, but a guy who's a really good tackler. He's physical. He's got all the traits to be a number one corner. I think he's a great fit for Tennessee as well. We're going to take him here at 38. At number 39, the Panthers lost Frankie Louvu. They've lost a lot on this defense, which I think we can kind of recoup some of it here. But we are going to go with the linebacker here. We're going to take Edgerrin Cooper out of Texas A&M. You replace Frankie Louvu, who I do like quite a bit. And I think you get a guy who might be better in coverage, and he can rush the passer better than almost anybody in this class. Excellent value for them. They replace a linebacker. I still think it's a need, and I love him to Carolina. At number 40, the Commanders back on the clock, and now they're going to go back to the offensive line. Get Kingsley Suamataia, a guy who could play tackle, could play guard. He's a very versatile offensive lineman. Left tackle, still a question mark for me with this Commanders offensive line. They've got some questions really all over the offensive line, but they did a better job of improving that interior, bringing in Tyler Biadasz. They've made some moves, but I think Kingsley at that left tackle spot's a really good pick. And number 41 is going to be a pick that I don't think a lot of people saw coming. We're going to take Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State. This is an interesting one because Green Bay loves to address that offensive line. The interior is maybe not the biggest need for them, but you saw the tackles played really well last year. Zach Tom, been a guard. They're going to probably move him to tackle. Now you can slide Cooper Beebe in without Bakhtiari there. I think they do need a guy like Beebe, though. Good run blocker. The dancing bear is what they call him. He's really one of my favorite prospects in this entire draft class. Underrated, can also play tackle for you. He is not strictly a guard. I like him here, and I'm going to take him at number 41. At number 42, we're going to address the interior of the defensive line in Houston. We're going to take T'Vondre Sweat. This is a team that went out and they signed Danielle Hunter, which was a major move for Houston. But I still think that interior could use some help. T'Vondre Sweat is one of the nastiest players in this entire draft class, a nose tackle who has a nose for the football. He's got pass rush upside, a really good run defender. I'm going to take him here at 42. At 43, this is where Atlanta is going to get their edge. It's going to be Marshawn Kneeland out of Western Michigan. One of my favorite prospects, playing on the opposite side of Calais Campbell. Yes, I know they run a 3-4. He is going to be that inside presence for them, but playing alongside Grady Jarrett, not Calais Campbell. But I believe Campbell's still there. This is a perfect spot for him. I think he's excellent in a 3-4 defense. Maybe you can go get an outside linebacker later on. Austin Booker, Jonah Ellis, Gabriel Murphy. There's guys that I like to this team later. Marshawn Kneeland, I think, would be excellent for this team as just another pass rusher for them. A guy that can get to the quarterback. Grady Jarrett's also coming off an injury, so you never really know with these. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to take a Marshawn Kneeland. At number 44, we're taking Bo Nix. The value is too good to pass on here if you are the Raiders. You don't really know what you've got in Aiden O'Connell yet. That is right now the biggest question mark. Bo Nix is a really good quarterback prospect. He can move around the pocket. He's got a good arm, not great. He's accurate, makes good decisions. Vegas quarterback is a position that I think they need, and I think this is a great spot for him. At number 45, we're going to take Ladd McConkey. This is lower than I think he's going to go in the NFL draft ultimately. It's just how the board fell. Ladd is excellent value here if you are the Saints. A guy who can run routes better than almost anyone in this entire draft class. You pair him alongside Chris Olave and kind of as your Michael Thomas replacement. Things look pretty good for you moving forward if you are the New Orleans Saints. So I'm going to take him here at number 45. At number 46, now I would love to go edge rusher for the Colts here, but the value with receivers have just not come off the board like we expected. Troy Franklin is still here. Love this if you are the Colts. Now you've got a guy that you can put on the outside who can just take the top off the defense. If you come away with Bowers and Franklin with your first two picks, home run draft for the Colts. This is an absolute steal for them. And as a Colts fan, I could not be more happy with how this has turned out. At number 47, this is going to be the Michael Penix Jr. pick. I think they have to take a chance on one of these quarterbacks, whether it's Bo Nix or Penix if they're on the board here. And this is just the value that I love for this team. It just makes sense for them. We don't know if Daniel Jones is going to be the starter. Drew Lock is a nice insurance policy, but I like to bank on the upside of Michael Penix Jr., the best ball placement in this class. Maybe not the most mobile quarterback, but I think he is a perfect fit for the Giants, and that's going to be my move here at 47. At number 48, we got the Jaguars, and I think corner is a need for this team. And you've got Tyson Campbell, but you cut Darius Williams, you cut Rayshon Jenkins. I'm going to bring in Kamari Lassiter from Georgia. The last time they took a Georgia corner, it worked out pretty well in Tyson Campbell. I'm going to go take another one in Kamari Lassiter, who I think could be a huge addition for this team. I think he's still a bit raw, but I think the upside is certainly there for him, and I'm going to bank on that upside and take him here at number 48. At number 49, we're going to take another corner. I know that this team they took DJ Turner last year. They lost Chidobe Awuzie, though. That's a big loss, in my opinion, that I don't think we're talking enough about. They've got Cam Taylor-Britt, but I'm going to take one of my favorite prospects here, and that is Max Melton from Rutgers. Could play on the outside, could play in the slot, really athletic, great reaction times. He is one of my favorite corners in this entire draft class, and I love his fit in Cincinnati. And the trend on corners is going to continue. We're going to take Mike Sainristil here to the Philadelphia Eagles. Going to be that slot corner. You've got Kaylee Ringo, who you took last year. But this team, they've got a lot of projects. They don't have that guy in that secondary. Darius Slay's older. James Bradbury's a virtual liability at this point. They've got question marks. I think Mike Sainristil is a really, really good corner, and he fits really well here. At number 51, we're going to take a receiver, and that's going to be Xavier Legette. Excellent value here for Russell Wilson. You pair Legette and George Pickens, you got two freak athletes on the outside that are going to make some serious noise for Russell Wilson. If that offensive line can hold up, the Steelers could make some noise in the AFC. At number 52, we are going to take another corner off the board in TJ Tampa from Iowa State. He's like a ball of clay. What he could be is out of this world. He's got incredible length. He's got really good movement abilities. He's really good in zone coverage. If he can improve on a couple of areas here and there, I think he could be a superstar at the next level. At number 53, we're going back to the secondary because Tyler Nubin is still on the board. They picked up Devin White. I don't really like any of these linebackers for them. And in terms of an edge rusher, we really don't know. Chris Braswell is in play here for me, but we don't know what's going to happen with Hassan Reddick. I know that that's the big question mark. We're going to take Tyler Nubin, though. Best safety in the class. I'm not going to overthink it. They haven't really made – I know they brought back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's probably going to run something similar, maybe that free safety, but I think Nubin as that strong safety is what this team needs. At number 54, we're going to take a defensive lineman. Receiver is not as big of a need anymore as it was because I think they did a pretty good job in trading for Jerry Jeudy. But we are going to take a defensive lineman, and that's going to be Chris Jenkins, another guy who tested out pretty well at the combine, really athletic, good run stopper. Really like him as a prospect. I think he's a great fit here in Cleveland. At number 55, we got the Miami Dolphins. I am going to go with the corner here. And it's not going to be any of these guys. He's going to be way down here. That is Renardo Green from Florida State. He's going to end up going in the first 3 rounds. I think second is where I have him. He's flying up draft boards. He's been really, really good. Had a great Shrine Bowl. I love Renardo Green as a prospect. If you want to see some full evaluations on him, be sure to check the link down in the description below. But really like him as a prospect. Production is not all there. I really like the Kendall Fuller move as well. I think Renardo Green, though, can go play safety for this team as well. He's got some safety abilities. He's a really good athlete. I love him in Miami at number 55. At number 56, we are going to take an interior offensive lineman. I don't love any of the tackles here. Patrick Paul is fine, but I like the idea of Christian Haynes in Dallas. You can move him at left guard, and then you could swing Tyler Smith out to tackle. That is an option here for them that I don't hate, to be completely honest. I actually think that's a good situation for them. Dallas just needs to improve this offensive line. Losing Tyron Smith, losing Tyler Biadasz, 2 moves that I think are going to hurt them. I think they get a pretty solid upgrade here in Christian Haynes. At number 57, I think this is excellent value for Chris Braswell, one of my favorite edge rushers in the class. Very productive, Bit of a rotational guy, though. You get him, you pair him with Yaya Diaby, kind of a rotation there. The edge rush doesn't look that bad. Braswell, I think, has really good upside, really good athlete. He's got great length. I like him in Tampa Bay quite a bit. At number 58, we're going to take an interior defensive lineman to Green Bay. That's going to be Rook Orohiro out of Clemson. I was admittedly higher on Tyler Davis coming into the draft process, but Rook Orohiro has been excellent, really good athlete, has been pretty productive for Clemson as well. I think Green Bay needs to improve that interior, so we're going to take him here at 58. At 59, we are taking Ricky Pearsall. I'm not hearing any other arguments on what the Texans need. They need Ricky Pearsall. I had someone in my comments last time tell me Ricky Pearsall is slow and he's not a great route runner. He ran a 4.41, which is pretty good. And then they were like, we should take Xavier Worthy. Well, he's not on the board for you. So you're going to go with Ricky Pearsall here because he's on the board. Number 2, he's got some of the best hands of any receiver in this entire draft class. He catches everything that's thrown his way. Great contested catch guy. On top of that, he can line up in the slot, can line up on the outside, which I think is what Houston needs. You pair him with Nico Collins, who is your deep ball threat. You've got Tank Dell, who is your speed threat. And now you get Ricky Pearsall, who could be that possession receiver who, if I throw it to Ricky, he is going to come down with it. That is excellent for the Houston Texans. That is the type of receiver that this team needs for CJ Stroud. And that's who I'm taking. I know some Texans fans aren't going to be in love with that, but Ricky Pearsall is the perfect Texans receiver. At number 60, we are going to take Roman Wilson off the board here. I like Roman Wilson, a very shifty route runner, bit undersized, I would say. Probably a slot guy, but with Diggs, Shakir, Roman Wilson, I think that's a pretty solid receiver unit there, and I do like that for the Buffalo Bills. At number 61, I know they traded for Carlton Davis, but I still think that corner is a need for the Detroit Lions. And I'm going to take Cam Hart out of Notre Dame. This is a guy who's got really good size, very good in man coverage. I think his upside is still there. He's had a couple of shoulder injuries. I think he could be really good in zone as well. This team has Emmanuel Mosley. They've got Cam Sutton. They've got Carlton Davis. Now you get Cam Hart. The secondary as a whole starts to look a lot stronger, which was their biggest weakness last year. So I'm going to take Cam Hart here at number 61. At number 62, we're going to take one of my favorite receiver prospects in the class, and that is Jalen Polk out of Washington, a guy that reminds me a little bit of Chris Godwin in Tampa Bay. He's fast, but not super fast. He's strong. He's a good route runner. He's got really, really good hands. I think he's a great fit for Baltimore, and I'm going to take him here at 62. At 63, we've got the San Francisco 49ers. They brought in Leonard Floyd, not really a guy that moves it for me. I'm going to take Braylon Trice here. I know his combine wasn't amazing, but this is a guy that has been in the quarterback's backfield every single play, has led college football in pressures each of the last 2 years. Trice has upside there. You lost Chase Young. They're going to need some rotational guys in that edge rush room. I think Braylon Trice could be that guy. At number 64, excellent value here for the Chiefs to go get an offensive tackle in Patrick Paul. Could be your Donovan Smith replacement, a left tackle of the future for this team, one of the best pass protectors in the entire draft class. I think that is really, really good value for the Chiefs. At number 65, we're going to take the first running back off the board, and that is going to be Trey Benson. So 2 Florida State guys come off the board here for Carolina, but look, this is exactly what Carolina needs. A guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield, but he can just be a really good runner for this team, which is what they need. Miles Sanders was a major disappointment last year. Chuba Hubbard is not stopping me from drafting a running back. I know they could go O-line here. I know they could go edge here. But I think the value of Trey Benson at 65 is really, really good for a guy who's probably a top 40 guy in this entire draft class. At number 66, we got the Arizona Cardinals. We are going linebacker for them. It's going to be Junior Colson, one of the best coverage linebackers in the entire draft class. In my opinion, the best coverage linebacker in this entire draft class. This is really good value for him. You get a guy who's been a winner, a national champion. I'm not overthinking this. We're taking Junior Colson. At number 67, is that what that says? Yes, 67. we've got the Washington Commanders. We're going to go Jatavian Sanders. I believe, could be wrong on this, I believe they cut Logan Thomas. Tight end is a position of need, and this is one of the better receiving tight ends in this draft. Now you got Jaden Daniels, a weapon. I think day 3, they can go get a receiver, a Curtis Samuel replacement. I do quite like that, but I like Jatavian Sanders here. That's going to be the pick at number 67. At 68, we got the New England Patriots. They've drafted exceptionally well, and now they're getting their left tackle of the future. Kieran Amagaji from Yale is one of my favorite tackle prospects in the class. Stay tuned. We will have a prospect spotlight on him coming later this week. Kieran Amagaji is a very good tackle. He's had some injury concerns, but his upside is tremendous. I think he could be one of the best tackles in this class. And we could look back in a few years and be like, what a steal for New England. They brought back Michael Nwenu, which was it was huge for them, but they still need to improve their offensive line. I think Kieran Amagaji lets them do that. At number 69, a good spot here for the Los Angeles Chargers to go with another running back. Now, what I would do, I would take Jalen Wright, but I'm going to mix this in with some realism. We're going to take Blake Corum to the Chargers. It's Michigan. Jim Harbaugh is going to want his guy. They lost Austin Eckler. They're going to need some replacements there. I think Blake Corum, super shifty, great vision, great jukes in the backfield. The Chargers are going to go get their running back of the future, and so are the Giants. I'm taking Jalen Wright out of Tennessee. Now, I know you guys are going to be like, why? Well, Jalen Wright ran one of the fastest 40s of any of the running backs in this class to begin with. Number 2, I just love what he has to offer as a runner. Bit of a questionable route tree, but they've got a guy in Matt Breida who I think could be that receiving back for them. Devin Singletary as well. I think they want speed on this team. You got Malik Neighbors. You've got Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Wright, Devin Singletary. This team's got so much speed. It's going to be tough to stop. At number 71, we've got the Arizona Cardinals, who have absolutely crushed this draft. But we're going to go running back again, and it's going to be Isaac Guerendo out of Louisville. I know that people are going to be like, well, how he's so low on this? Why do you have him going in the 3rd round? Isaac Guerendo is a top 5 running back in this class. He also doesn't really have a lot of mileage on him. He's a powerful back. He's fast. There's a lot to really like about him, and he was in a dual running back system his entire career. Another guy, stay tuned. We will be having a video coming on him later this week, but I think his upside is really, really good, and I love his fit in Arizona. At number 72, we've got the New York Jets, and I think this team needs a receiver. Brendan Rice I considered because I know they want big receivers, but I am going to go with Malachi Corley, a guy who you could put in the slot there, and I think could be a huge home run threat for this team. Garrett Wilson, Malachi Corley, Mike Williams might be a Jet. Who knows? I would love that for them. I think that makes this pick a lot more salvageable. Not salvageable. You know what I'm trying to say. I think it makes it a lot easier pill to swallow, taking a slot guy. But Corley after the catch is an unbelievable player, and I think that's kind of what the Jets need. At number 73, we've got the Detroit Lions on the board again. And I went with Tez Walker originally in my notes, but I am going to change it up just a little bit. And we are going to go with Adisa Isaac. Pair him alongside Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson's a great pass rusher. And now you get a really good run defender in Adisa Isaac. I think this is around the value he goes. I think he's a top 75 pick. I really like this for them. So I'm going to take him here at number 73. At number 74, the Atlanta Falcons are going to go Tez Walker. This is a no-brainer for me. Tez Walker, good size, good speed, questionable against physicality, but his upside is through the roof. And yes, they brought in Darnell Mooney and Drake London. I still think they need some speed in that receiver room. Darnell Mooney as a great slot weapon. Now you got Walker, London, Mooney. I think that's a really good receiver trio. And I like him here at 74. At number 75, the Chicago Bears are going to go with one of my favorite prospects as well, in Dominic Puni. A guy who can play tackle for you, can play guard for you, can play center for you. I think that is exactly what this team is looking for, a guy that can play all 3 positions, all 5 positions on that offensive line for the Bears. The offensive line, I think, is better than we give it credit for, but I still think they need to make some moves, and I like this for the Bears. At number 76, the Denver Broncos are going to take Spencer Rattler. I think he ends up starting at quarterback for them this season. They desperately need a quarterback. I'm not going into the season with Jarrett Stidham as my starter. Spencer Rattler has wowed at his pro day, wowed at the combine. I think his upside is really, really good, and I really like this for him. So I'm going to take him at number 76. At number 77, we've got the Las Vegas Raiders, and I am going to go with a running back here. They just signed Alexander Mattison just a little bit ago. Doesn't stop me from banking on the upside of Jonathan Brooks. Now, I know you're like, how do you have Jonathan Brooks so low? Truthfully, Jonathan Brooks is not this low. I think he goes higher than this, but I am a little bit lower on him simply due to the ACL tear. It does concern me a little bit. I love the decision for him because I think it shows his confidence in his medicals, but it is concerning considering that is a serious injury. And I think this is a Raiders team that Zamir White, you got questions about. Alexander Mattison, I think, is a great number 2. But I think Jonathan Brooks can be a great number 1 back if he is healthy. And number 78, I'm stuck between a couple of options here. I think corner is a position of need here where I like Kyrie Jackson quite a bit. I really do. I think his size is kind of what this team needs. And that's where I am going to go with it. I had Andrew Phillips originally, but they took a smaller guy last year in Emmanuel Forbes. I don't think they're going to do that again this year. I think Kyrie Jackson has really good size, another really fluid athlete, but a bit of a late bloomer, you could say. I think banking on the upside here of a guy like Kyrie Jackson who's older, but I think his traits are all there. That's what I'm going to do if I'm the Washington Commanders. At number 79, I am, again, considering going with an edge here because I do like the value of a Jonah Ellis, of an Austin Booker, because they could play that outside linebacker spot. But I'm going to take Cameron Kitchens here out of Miami. You've got Jesse Bates, who I think could play that strong safety. You got a roaming free safety in Cameron Kitchens, who I know athletically was awful at the combine, but I'm still really high on Kitchens. I think he could be a really, really good player in the NFL. He's a ball hawk. He's got a nose for the football. I'm going to take him here for Atlanta and just continue to boost my secondary. For the Bengals here at number 80, we're actually going to go a receiver here. We're going to take Javon Baker out of UCF. Another really good receiver, a guy who can create separation. Looks like they're going to lose Tyler Boyd. We know T. Higgins requested a trade, so we'll see where he ends up. But I really like Baker to Cincinnati. I think that's the type of receiver that they like to go after. I'm going to take him here at number 80. At number 81, this is where we're going to see Jonah Ellis come off the board. I think the value is just there for him. I think this is excellent value for a guy who was off the charts good before his injury. If he can remain healthy, I think Jonah Ellis can be a beast at the next level. At number 82, we got the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I originally took Adisa Isaac. We changed this up a little bit. We are going to take Andrew Phillips out of Kentucky. I think this guy could play on the outside. You got Kenny Moore as your slot guy, and he's an excellent slot corner. But now you got a guy in Andrew Phillips who matched up really good against Johnny Wilson from Florida State. Despite being a little bit smaller, he's kind of like a Nat. Not quite Carlton Johnson-like, but smaller, physical. I like that. I think that's the kind of guy that the Colts like, and they love big-time athletes. I like this fit at number 82. At number 83, another guy we're banking on the upside. The Rams continue to boost up this defense. They're going to go get Austin Booker, a guy that I have a lot of questions about, but I think here in the third round, this is where I'd be willing to take a swing. I like the value here, so we're going to take Austin Booker to the Rams. At number 84, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I am going to take a corner here. I think corner is still a big need. Chris Abrams-Drain is on the board. One of my favorite slot corners in this entire draft. Can also be a really good zone corner. You pair him with Joey Porter Jr. I like that quite a lot if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers. At number 85, we're going to take a linebacker here, and that's going to be Trevin Wallace out of Kentucky. A guy that I was not very high on pre-combine. Went back, looked at him after the combine, after he tested out really, really well, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a guy that I can get behind. I do really, really like him as a prospect. Excellent athlete. You have some questions about his run defense, but I think this is a really good situation for him. I'm going to take him here at number 85. At number 86, we've got the Houston Texans. I do want to go with a corner here. It's just a matter of which corner do I want to go with. And that is what we're trying to figure out here. Trying to look at my notes to kind of see who I had. I originally had Kyrie Jackson here. He's off the board. We're going to take a guy that I like quite a bit, and that is Kalen Carson. I did a video on him, so again, you guys want to see my full opinion on him, be sure to go check that out. Carson is a guy that he's had some injuries, but I think athletically he's really, really good. He's a great mover. He's a my guy in this class. I do really like Kalen Carson. I think he could be a really good starter at the next level. Then we got the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking Jermaine Burton here, not overthinking it. They need a receiver that can create space. You got CeeDee Lamb, Jermaine Burton, Brandon Cooks. I think that's a solid wide receiver trio. At number 88, we've got the Green Bay Packers. Now we are going to take that safety. I told you we were going to take one. It's Cole Bishop out of Utah. I really like Bishop. I think a guy who's got a nose for the football. Again, bigger than you think, also faster than you think. So now you got a strong safety, free safety, and McKinney. I think you're feeling pretty good if you're coming out of this draft like this, if you are the Green Bay Packers. At number 89, we are taking Cedric Van Pran. Ryan Jensen retired. This team needs to improve the interior of their offensive line. I'm not overthinking it. I think this is excellent value for them, and they get a really good center here at number 89. At number 90, we've got the Arizona Cardinals with their final pick. Now, I went Kalen Carson originally, trying to see if there's anywhere else that I would potentially go here. Corner still is a need for this team, and we are going to probably pass on corner for now. And I'm going to take the tackles I'm not in love with either. I'm going to take Christian Mahogany, a guy who I think could be a really good guard at the next level for this team. We're going to take Mahogany here. I think he's a good starter for him, and that's going to be the move. At number 91, we got the Green Bay Packers. We're going to take a defensive lineman, and that is going to be Mason Smith out of LSU. Athletic freak. The upside is there, and that's what this team is banking on. He's not going to be an immediate starter, but you're banking on the upside of him really breaking out for you later on, and I like that for this team. At number 92, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back on the clock, and I'm going to take Javon Bullard here. I think this is another guy that can help improve this secondary. Not only is he a good safety, but I think he could play some nickel corner for you as well. I think they go back-to-back Georgia picks here. Go the Eagles route, which I don't think is a bad route to go. I think they go Javon Bullard. At number 93, we've got the Ravens on the clock. I'm going to take Jarvis Brownlee out of Louisville, a guy who has been really, really good, had a great combine, had a really good Senior Bowl as well. Been flying up boards. I think around the third round is where he ultimately gets selected. I'm going to take him here at 93. At 94, corners in play here, DJ James. But I'm not in love with a lot of these guys. Jerry and Jones is an interesting one. I'm going to change this up. I'm going to go Jerry and Jones. Can be that slot corner for the Niners that I think could be a big addition for them. You got Charvarius Ward. Jerry and Jones is going to be the pick here at 94. At number 95, we're going to go tight end here for the Chiefs, and it is going to be Ben Sinnott out of Kansas State. One of my personal favorite tight ends in this class. Might be tight end 2 or 3 for me. I think he's number 3 on my board, if I recall, but really, really like him. I think he's a good blocker, and he's got really good upside as a receiver. He's one of my guys in this class as well. I'm going to take him here. At number 96, we are going to be selecting Michael Hall out of Ohio State. Excellent value here. I don't think he's going to be on the board here in real life. They need to improve the interior of their defensive line, and that's what they're going to get to do here. At number 97, we're going to take Theo Johnson, another guy to just kind of improve this tight end room. That's kind of been a revolving door for the Cincinnati Bengals. I like this for him. I know they got Drew Sample back on an extension. Doesn't stop me from taking Theo Johnson here. At number 98, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. We are going to select a linebacker, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., still on the board, but we're going to go with Cedric Gray out of North Carolina. I think he's a perfect linebacker to pair alongside Patrick Queen. I do quite like that for this team. And with the final pick, we are going to select Christian Jones out of Texas to kind of be be a swing tackle for this team long term. But that's going to do it for me in this video, guys. If you guys do enjoy, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know which players you guys want to see prospect spotlights on. Let me know which picks you agreed with, which picks you disagreed with. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.